The Cleveland Cavaliers rose above every expectation this offseason and had a 44-38 record. Despite the fact they didn't make the playoffs and lost to the playing round against the Hawks, this is a really great showing for the Cavs. Now the Cavs had to look towards the offseason and what they want to do next. While the Cavs had a winning season, this team still has some work, so I went over our offseason plan for the Cavs based on the things I saw this season and what they should do next and what they should do in the offseason to focus on. Obviously, this is a bit of a long plan, so I don't expect them to do everything on this list unless they're serious about it, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Number 1, extend Colin Sexton. Sexton was not extended last season for the Cavs and he is on his way to free agency. Despite what people think, Sexton is still a really great young player, really good scorer. For the most part, he does need to work on his playmaking and defense, but for the most part, he is still a really fantastic player to have on his team, along with Darius Garland. Like I said, if you're one of those people that think Sexton's ceiling is a 6-man, even if Sexton is going to be a 6-man on the team, he's still going to get paid a lot by a team. Whether it's the Cavs or any other team, he's going to get paid a lot. The biggest advantage for the Cavs, though, they will basically be able to match any team that offers Colin Sexton a deal. So for the most part, the Cavs have a huge advantage already in getting Colin Sexton back. Sexton's already expressed desire to be back in Cleveland, so why not go ahead and bring the young bull back, honestly? It's not often we get a player that wants to be back here, but then again, new age, new time, new culture, so who knows? Number 2, also extend Darius Garland. Garland will have a huge payday in Cleveland after the massive leap he took this season. Like Garland said himself, it seems like playing on Team USA Select Team really helped Darius Garland out big time. As Darius Garland is viewed as a franchise player for this team, he will likely get a max from the Cavaliers, which is perfectly fine with me. Garland's potential is really high and he has a chance to be even better next season, as I do expect him to be. And keep in mind, he's only 22 years old, so like I said, he's only going to get better from here, and that's crazy to think about at this point. Number 3, grab a backup center. When Jarrett Allen went down with an injury in March, this affected the Cavs big time. One of their best defensive players and rim protectors was basically done for the rest of the regular season, and the Cavs defense took a huge drop off without him. With that being said, the Cavaliers need to look to acquire a backup center in the draft or free agency. Isaiah Hartenstein, a former Cavalier, is set to be a free agent, so they could attempt to bring him back. Maybe a guy like Derek Favors, Robin Lopez. Some of those guys might be a bit of a high bar, but shouldn't be ruled out immediately. We've seen how teams with backup centers like the Suns, but they have DeAndre Ayton and JaVale McGee, so maybe the Cavs could follow suit. Heck, JaVale McGee's a free agent this season. We'll probably be back with the Suns, but just something to think about. I don't think he'll be back, but I don't know. Then again, after we did in that Suns game, I don't think Cavs fans are too happy with him. Maybe I'm just saying stuff, but who knows. Has been a couple months now, so let bygones be bygones and probably forgot about it. Number 4, grab a backup point guard. Darius Garland, as I said, is a great player, but even great players need someone to fill in for them while they're either hurt or on the bench. God forbid he gets hurt. Please do. God forbid. After the injury to Ricky Rubio, the Cavs are forced to have Garland play longer minutes and also rotate him out with Rajon Rondo and Brandon Godwin. Sometimes these guys weren't available, especially Rondo, and Garland was forced to play longer minutes and he was gassed in some of these games. Along with that, Rondo had his moments, and for a two-way player, Godwin was not too bad. But the Cavs need to look towards the draft and free agency to find a backup point guard. Ricky Rubio must likely be back with the Cavs, but with the torn ACL, he probably won't be back until a month after the new season starts. I talked about the possibility of trading for DeLon Wright last season, so maybe now the Cavs could jump on that and get him as a backup point guard. And draft-wise, I like that guy from Kansas. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but his highlights are right here. Number 5, get a scoring wing desperately. Okoro is a really great defensive player, but he has a huge hole in his skill set when it comes to scoring. His 3-point shooting is pretty bad, and offensive side from that isn't too good either, aside from being a good finisher. Even if you want to keep Okoro as a starter, you definitely need to find a backup scorer behind him. They definitely should be able to use their MLE deal. Draft-wise, Malachi Branham is definitely a player to watch out for. Hopefully Okoro does work on his offensive skill set next season, because that is the key to getting Okoro to the next level. Now here are a few alternate sections for an offseason plan the Cavs could work on. For the most part, the ones I just named not too long ago are the things I want to work on next offseason, but for the most part, here are a couple more things. Number 1, trade Colin Sexton. There have been rumors for quite a while now the Cavs will trade Colin Sexton. Some might say the Cavs have been better without Colin Sexton. Quote unquote, by the way. Since Sexton is on an expiring deal, this means that a trade will have to come at the expense of a signing trade. And as I said before, Sexton is a very young player, talented guard. You would without a doubt have a lot of teams clamoring for him in the free agency market. A lot of teams are obviously high on Colin Sexton, which means the Cavs might be able to get a good deal out of him if they do decide to trade him. Maybe a few draft picks, maybe a player. I don't know, but I think the Cavs will be able to get a good deal from Colin Sexton if they trade him. Now, should they do it? I don't know. But like I said, this is an alternate universe, guys. None of this exists. Let's just say the Cavs do want to trade him. So, pretend none of that exists right now. But as I said, if the Cavs get a can't-miss deal, they should just take it and trade Colin Sexton. Maybe for a guy like Donovan Mitchell? I don't know. Just a thought. Dude, trade Kevin Love. Kevin Love has embraced his six-man role as a team ever since Evan Mobley took his role as the starter for the team. Can't forget that Kevin Love still has a huge contract, and to shed some salary, the Cavs should definitely trade, or could trade Kevin Love. A lot of contenders may be willing to give up a few second-round picks for Kevin Love, which is pretty good for the most part. Second-round picks aren't too bad. I think I could see a contender or maybe a team that needs that veteran in their locker room to trade for Kevin Love. I don't see it being out of the realm of possibilities, but who knows. I do like Kevin Love's role as a six-man, but like I said, for the right price, anybody can be traded, especially Kevin Love with that big contract. Number 3, don't extend Caris LeVert. Right now, the Cavs are leaning towards keeping Caris LeVert on the team. What role he will play right now is unknown, but with the history of injury issues from Caris, this could be a risk for the Cavs depending on how much they decide to throw at him. I would not be, against extending Caris LeVert at all. Like I said, I do think he's a great player, but like I said, they do run the huge risk of re-signing him. Caris LeVert can be inconsistent at times, but he's proven on the Cavs. But maybe with the full offseason with the team and things like that, he could improve. But like I said, with the history of injury issues, not extending him would not be a bad thing. Anyways, that is it from our offseason plan for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And what do you think the Cavs should do this offseason? Like I said, there's a lot they can do, and there's a lot they probably will do. But if you haven't yet, go ahead and like this video, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that will be down in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon, like the video, and I will hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace out.